Hello Internet! This video is going to be a character analysis of the Dream SMP character Karl Jacobs, focused on his current character arc as of writing. This video is majorly inspired by one made by Screwwave before the Time Traveler arc began, so I will be linking her video in the description. Go check that one out if you want an analysis of his character prior to the Tales from the SMP streams. Just a quick disclaimer before I start the video. This character analysis is about the Dream SMP character Karl Jacobs and not his real-life counterpart. I will do my best to distinguish between the two, but for the analysis part, I mean his character. Real Karl Jacobs does not time travel as far as I'm aware. For anyone who doesn't know already, the Dream SMP is a Minecraft server with expansive lore and characters that has taken the internet by storm. It follows several different characters, played live by streamers in front of thousands of people at a time, and their journeys through the world of the SMP. The Dream SMP lore has seen revolutions, countries collapsing into dust, cults, and several other storylines, all within less than a year of its existence. The storyline I am focusing on today is that of Karl Jacobs, a character who seemed relatively unassuming prior to his time travel escapades becoming a front and center attraction for fans of the SMP. The Dream SMP is heavily focused on the theme of attachments and what they mean to people, with attachments like that of Tommy and his discs becoming major conflicts spanning several months. Karl, for his part, is mainly attached to two things: his fiancées, Quackity and Sapnap, and, before it was destroyed, he cared about Party Island.
And then, guess what? Then, I joined Schlatt. You know what he tells me?
What?
He tells me that he loves Party Island. He loves what I've done to the place.
When he chooses sides, he doesn't seem to care for the sides themselves, instead flipping when it suits him, such as when he left Manberg's side in the Manberg vs. Pogtopia war when it was apparent that Manberg had been defeated. He's aloof and may have been too busy jumping through time to care about the wars ravaging the SMP. Karl does, however, care about his fiancées to the point of putting himself in danger for them. For example, he sacrificed his first canon life for Quackity's protest against Aerith solely to please Quackity.
Karl, I need to know if you're down for this. You're gonna lose one life, okay? But listen, I promise it's gonna be worth it.
I'll tell you this much. If it will make my friends like me more, it's worth it.
That's so sad.
Karl clearly cares about what his friends think about him, and prior to the Tale streams, he took attention where he could get it, such as taking on a cabinet role in both Schlatt and Tubbo's administrations. Time Traveler Karl, however, is a different view of the same character. He views the places that he visits as stories and writes them down as such. This is possibly because most stories have morals, and Karl is trying to learn lessons from these stories, even at his own risk. We were told on Karl's first visit to the In-Between, a world between the present and the places Karl time travels to, that he does not have a say in the matter. You do not have a choice in the matter. You will continue to time travel, and you will continue to regroup back here in the In-Between. Instead of simply going with the flow and suffering through it, Karl uses this spontaneous time travel to his advantage, protecting the people he cares about and trying to keep them happy. He says, "I will find every way possible to ensure that no matter what, I can do my part to bring happiness to these lands." Karl has always wanted happiness in the SMP, shown to us from the beginning when he mainly cared for Party Island, wanting to protect a refuge of joy in a world of violence and devastation. After the first Tale stream that seemed especially canon to the lore of the SMP, Karl wrote, "I'm worried one day I'll travel and not even remember who I am anymore. Maybe I should stop. No, I can't stop. I have to keep doing my part. Maybe if I travel enough, I'll be able to right some wrongs. Maybe do something to prevent all of the bad I keep seeing." Apparently, fixing the bad in the world is more important to Karl than his own memory. The Karl who is willing to sacrifice a canon life for his fiancées to like him more is the same Karl that would sacrifice his knowledge of his fiancées themselves in order to protect them. He is loyal to a fault to people, not to countries. Sounds a little familiar. Ranbu parallels aside, Karl's attachments are almost a foil to Dream's. Dream, as we know, cut off his attachments to anything on the server in order to make himself stronger. He broke his bonds with Sapnap and George so that nobody could touch him. Everyone has something on the server, but Dream made himself an island in the hopes that he would achieve almost godlike status. Karl, on the other hand, becomes weaker without his attachments. His bond with Sapnap and Quackity keeps him fighting for them, because, as established, he cares about what they think of him and wants to make the world a better place for all three of them. Because of Karl's memory loss, it is entirely possible that he will one day forget them, leaving him vulnerable and easy to take advantage of. Without his bonds, who is he? All he has then is notes left in his books about protecting people and making things better. He keeps his time-traveling endeavors a secret for obvious reasons. Karl has seen what happens to powerful people, and he knows he could be taken advantage of in this way. That is why the In-Between's calls for him to fix his memory are so important, not only for himself, but for the audience. If he forgets who he is, not only will he be left adrift without an identity, but he could easily be taken advantage of by Dream or anyone else who has desires to bend time to their own will. In a way, Karl is the best person on the SMP to be blessed with time travel. His neutrality keeps him from altering the past in anyone's favor, and his altruism helps him use the knowledge he gains for good rather than the desires of a side. Because Karl never felt especially inclined to one side or another, he witnessed all of the bad of the SMP as a mostly neutral party, though he did pick sides for his own benefit on occasion. He witnesses the tales in this way too, as a third-person narrator, almost like an author, a Lemony Snicket type of character who himself is intertwined with the story, but tells it nonetheless. In this way, Karl is the closest character to the audience. If the Dream SMP has a writer, someone who will eventually close the book on this story and expect us to find the lessons in it, it is Karl. He sees things from multiple perspectives, gaining insight from the past and future like the audience does outside of the story. Karl is our meta-guide, showing us pieces of the world outside of the SMP that helps us and him find its flaws. Karl's current storyline is one that serves to expound upon his character, who previously had little known about him. It is a wonderful addition to the lore of the Dream SMP, and every tale is just as, if not more entertaining than the last. Though Karl may not be as involved in the main plot as other characters like Tommy or Ranbu, his storyline is just as compelling, and seems to be on a collision course with the main plotline at some point in the future. I cannot wait to see what Karl does with his character and the adventures that he embarks upon. Thank you all so much for watching. This is my first video essay on anything ever, but I've always wanted to make video essays, and I really love the Dream SMP lore, so this was perfect for me. I hope you all enjoyed, and I don't have any socials to plug or anything, so go follow Karl on Twitch or something. His Tale streams are always a blast, and his other streams are great too. Thanks again for watching.